about piloting the most cutting-edge ships, or traveling to the farthest reaches of the universe, forging connections that will last your entire life, fighting to protect your home and loved ones, or even learning what you're truly capable of. Those are just the perks. I'm Commander Ryan Enright. I fly Navy.
I assumed he talked to all rookies that way.
I assumed he talked to all the rookies that way.
Archangel 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now. We're clear. Commercial vessel out of Vega 3. Reminded them that civilian traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Archangel. Archangel. This is Krugeri.
Come back, Gary.
Redirect to sector 7 Bravo Echo for immediate tasking.
Copy that. On our way.
Reaper Squadron, thanks for joining us. What's your sit rep? In position, holding now. Understood. Stand by for further orders. All flanks. Bishop wants to lose formation on our baffle so we don't clump up. Copy that.
I know I just wrote you, but a couple of hours ago, proximity sensors on the other side of the jump got twigged and went dark. The word is it might be that clan that we've been battling with. I guess that last fight didn't scare them off quite like we all hoped it would. Honestly, we've been out here so long I don't know what to pull for anymore. I just wanted to let you know. I'll write as soon as I can. Stay safe.
Never gets old, does it?
Sir.
Eddies. I used to do the same thing when I was first coming up. Post up to the flight deck whenever I could to watch the launches. Have you seen the F-8s up close?
No, sir.
The thing's a beast. Nimble, too.
12 maneuvering thrusters and 3 mains. It sure sounds like it. Sir.
Captain McLaren to the bridge. Captain McLaren to the bridge.
I saw you apply to the Flight Academy again.
Yes, sir.
Keep your head up. Took me a couple times before I got in.
Thank you, sir.
All gunners. Get your gear and report to your turret. Repeat, all gunners to your turrets.
Oh snap, I forgot to tell. I talked to Watkins in logistics and he said the recon team was wiped out.
Really? Then why are we sitting here? Van Dulan's stupid. If they know we know, they would have hit us by now.
Hey, they can take as much time as they want. The longer they wait, more of a chance the 42s will get back.
Well, they can hit whenever.
Hey, there you are.
Hey.
Where's your helmet?
Can't gun without it.
Come on.
Rookie mistake.
I gotta get to my turret.
Got to go up.
Jacobs told me the Vandal tried to board ships, and I haven't been able to sleep since. I heard from my buddy over on Banshee.
I heard we aren't getting any reinforcements.
We've got to send them through, right? We've been getting tuned up for weeks.
It's this Polo Initiative horse shit. Parker Man's been freaking out about having to make cuts, so everybody's taking hits. Winslow and the Banshee told me they got denied on extra ammo for their main gun.
Almost like the suits on Earth 1 attack.
Maybe we should oblige them, you know? The government offers to
Have you heard about this show, Lost Squad?
Are they seriously doing another show about the fall of Caliban?
Supposedly out next year.
I'll need you to be a big sister to him. Okay? Take him to Lake Perrin. He's old enough. And teach him what I taught you. And do me a favor. Help your mom. Whatever you can.
Hey. All set? Hey, you get any sleep last night? Yeah, me neither. Oh, bad news. I heard Goofy was assigned to your rig for this last shift, so brace yourself. Your controls are gonna be screwed.
This is Captain McLaren. Sitcon upgraded to orange. All reserve personnel get to your stations.
Looks like this could be it. Hey, good luck. See you up there.
You got it.
God damn it, Goofy, get the hell out of there! So glad you could join us. I want you calibrated and ready to fire in 5, here? I don't know how the hell Goofy uses this thing with those settings. I'm just gonna do a full reset so you can get operational. Just follow the on-screen instructions for the calibration program. Stand by. We'll start with tracking. Since we're out here hunting a Vandal clan, I'll load up one of their ships for you to follow. All set for controlling your turret. Next up, we'll test your firing mechanics. The system projects simulated rounds, so don't worry about friendly fire. Last thing we need to do is verify your targeting. I'll load up a larger Vandal ship for you to practice targeting specific parts of the enemy. Okay, your targeting is tracking solid, so that should do it. Checking the other gunners, and they seem to be up as well. Everyone up? Marcus, test your tilt. System says it's ticking.
Moving now, sir. Seems fine to me.
Good. All right, people. Eyes open, mouths shut.
Any idea what's happening, sir?
You covering your sector and staying off comms. At least that's what should be happening.
My money's still on the drill.
What'd I just say?
Sorry, sir.
About time.
Shut.
Attention, Second Fleet. This is Admiral Bishop. For 6 months now, we have faced an elusive enemy determined to see the Empire burn and every human with it. There have been battles, There have been losses. Each and every one of you has proven yourself time and again, but today I must ask for more. Today, we fight one last battle. Advanced recon indicates the entire Vanduul fleet has just entered the system. This means a king ship is headed our way. Now, some of you will not survive today, but there will be no time for sorrow. We will have to grieve for them later. Because 2 billion souls in this system hang in the balance. There should be no illusions about what we were up against. In the history of the UEE, a kingship has entered human space a handful of times. Battle of Orion, Siege of Tiber, the fall of Caliban. But we are the Second Fleet. History will remember us differently. We will not have to worry about it being kind, because today we will define ourselves through our actions. We will not lose the system. We will not fall back. We will win, because we have to. We fight today. So in 40 years from now, when you're surrounded by everything and everyone you hold dear, and they ask, what did you do in the Battle of Vega? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. Men and women of the Second Fleet, I am proud to stand with you today. Good luck. Bishop out.
Nice speech.
Any word from the recon team?
Not yet.
Let's get into position. Fleet, hold fire until my mark.
trip safeties from the Goliath. We'll have to hit him close. I want him live on launch.
What are they waiting for?
I thought it would be bigger. Ship's locked, sir. Fleet's ready.
Stand by.
Got one! I got one!
Good kill. Come on, people, keep up the pressure. Another wave.
Yeah, I see him.
Oh, he's incoming! Get him! Get him! Tracking enemy sides. Light him up.
On! Woo!
Target down. Good kill. Good job, people. Scope's clear.
Gauntlet, I've got bogeys I can't shake. I need a brush off.
You got your pilot. All right, gunners. Protect our fighters.
Tracking target. Can't hold out much longer.
Damn it, gunners, take out those duels.
Thanks for the help, Conker.
You got it. Get back in there.
Will do.
August, shift your position back and drift 8 degrees off X-axis. That should bring that Moiler into your field of fire. Corvus, redirect to fill the gap and take those gunboats off Integrity. Scimitar, your turn to play bait. Banshee, push forward. Let's see how strong their line is. Raiden, you're their support.
Multiple impacts, sir. Could have been capital ship fire.
No, it's too focused. It's more like heavy fighters. Do we have a line on them?
Turrets have been taken out, sir.
Gauntlet, come in. We need you to sweep up some fighters on us.
On it, sir. Get us in close.
Aye, sir.
You're up, turret gunners. We're guarding Bishop here. Make me proud.
Heard the captain? I want those dual ships fried and crispy. Copy?
I can. Copy that.
On it, sir.
Let them have it, gunners. It's us or them. Good kill. Those fighters knock out Gary's shields. Enemy bombers are incoming. Take them out.
Tracking target.
Outstanding, Thomas.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Take out that Hunter's small turrets.
Got another turret! Was that Marcus? Can anybody see? Open fire!
Take out that main turret!
One of my guns is down!
All gunners, take out that turret. It's your only target right now. We won't survive another hit.
Turret down!
Tracking multiple inbound boarding spikes. Target and eliminate.
We should get the hell out of here! I need help! I need help!
Slip fast. Made planetfall. Copy. Forward inbound. defenses onto the ground forces.
We've got your pad, Argus.
Appreciate it. Could really just do with some fire cleanup. We're taking multiple hits.
335, break engagement and support.
Sir, briefing now. Charging main guns, prepping for full spread. Any effect on target?
Countdown. Hostile cap ships bearing down on us. Copy that. Raiders inbound.
Firing again! Getting a weird power spike from the King ship.
Break, Argus, break!
Argus is down. Repeat. Argus is down.
Flight ops. Scramble any available support ships to pick up survivors. This thing is chewing us up, sir.
Break engagement with this destroyer. Align for a run on the King ship.
Weapons. I'm gonna need you to cook up a firing solution on that King ship. Hit him with everything we got.
So, all of our weapons even focused?
Have to do something. Right, Mr. Kraus? The Van Duel aren't gonna blow themselves up.
Yes, sir. Wait, next time we take a hit, drop our shields an extra 30%.
Hear that, Shields?
Sir.
Navigation.
Sir.
Adjust heading. 10 degrees port.
Aye, sir.
Let's get their attention.
Generator's down, sir. Starboard 4 exposed. Sir?
Hit them again!
Waiting on you, Mr. Kraus.
They're gonna kill us!
Getting power spikes. And charging up the main gun. I guess you got their attention.
seconds out till the fray. Form up, Cal. You got point.
Copy that. Tally's on me.
Echo Flight, prep for boost.
Let's say hi.
All copy. Tubs at the ready. Stand by for lock.
Ready up, people. Enemy vectors inbound.
Copy, Doc. You can cover, I can make a run at that shield, Jenny.
Copy. Hey, Roger. Take Charlie and Delta and screen up those fighters. Beetle, Bug, you're in main. If you run a double switchback.
Copy that. Tally's maintain vector. I'll clear your shot.
Got it. All echoes, stay on the ball.
Light them up.
Look out.
Cal, I don't think your ship's got the firepower to take that emitter out.
You might be right. Shield softened up.
Shields up! Report!
Shields are holding. Barely. That shot took out our main thrusters.
No, not us, them.
The Kingship shields are down.
Yes! We don't celebrate until they're dead.
Hit him! Hit him!
ship's headed right for us.
Can we evade?
Shot took out the main thruster, sir. I'm trying to get the auxiliaries online.
Getting a rapid increase in the King ship's energy signature. Looks like they're trying to go critical.
Even if we dodge, we won't get clear of the blast range on auxiliary alone. Attention fleet. This is Admiral Bishop. You are ordered to immediately withdraw. I repeat, withdraw. All non-essential personnel are dismissed to abandon ship. If you want to volunteer to stay, we can sure use your help. All right. Tell the gunners to concentrate all the power they got. Maybe we can take out this King ship before it hits us.
Yes, sir. Logistics. I want every ounce of juice pumped into those guns. If we don't need it to breathe or shoot, I don't want it.
I think I can crouch into that.
Let's go!
Hey, hold the door!
Get to the door, seal it. I'll turn base in time. Just go! Now!
Restart, you knocker!
Alert. Fire detected. Room locking down. Repeat. Room locking down. Systems back online. Breach detected. Depressurizing.
Sealing suit. Warning, oxygen low.
Pressurizing. Pressurized. Gravity online.
Thought I was the only one left.
So did I.
Look, I need your help with something. Follow me. We're running low on power, so we have to reroute our energy from our shields to our thrusters to change direction. Take a seat. I need you to steer the ship. Time for your first piloting lesson. We're setting a new course. For that. Ready?
Shields
Go.
offline. Maneuvering systems online.
power back to shields.
Shields?
Engaging autopilot.
Corvus! I ordered you to fall back!
Can't do that. You're dead in the water and we can help.
The situation's under control. You ought to reverse!
You can't kill it. Not before it takes you out. We are boarded and burning. This is the only way.
Well, lock your course and get off that thing. Both of you, clear?
Aye, aye.
Rachel!
I will. Damn it. We're about to have company. I've got to try and divert as much energy as I can to the engines. So I'm gonna need you to hold them off. Go now.
Yes, sir.
Life support and lab are offline. Disabling safeties on the reactor to boost some extra juice. Here they come! Incoming! Keep it up. Another breach! We're doing good. We've got more tool coming!
Danger. Hit shield 25%.
Nice work. On me, quick!
Warning. Collision imminent.
Almost finished here.
Ejection system offline.
The escape pod door is jacked. I need you to manually override the door. Give me your rifle. I'll cover you. I just need a minute to finish up here. What's the status on the door?
We're good. Down!
Captain!
Sir.
Don't argue. Just do me a favor. Give this to Bishop. Tell him it's all gonna be okay. Tell him it was a good trip.
Warning. Collision imminent.
Get the hell out of here.
Warning. Impact. Warning. Impact. Warning. Impact. Warning. Impact. Warning. Impact.
I said get out of here.
No, I'm not leaving you.
I do solemnly pledge, mind and body, I will defend the Empire with my life.
Your application to the Flight Academy has been reconsidered. Captain McLaren had submitted a letter of recommendation on your behalf before the battle.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You're safe.
We may be a small crew, but the work we do matters.
Welcome to the Stanton. I'm Eugene Morrow.
I'm Petty Officer Webster, Chief Mechanic.
This will be your new home.
We got you flying with Lieutenant Commander Colton. He's one of our best.
Sir?
Who the hell are you?
I'm your new wingman, sir. The name's...
You want me to learn your name? You live long enough for me to care.
Baron Actual, you're clear to launch.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.